Richard Sharp has friends in high places, that much is true, but a six-figure loan, a Prime Minister and a report saw the BBC chairman standing alone.
I have decided that it is right to prioritise the interest of the BBC. I feel that this matter may well be a distraction from the corporation's good work were I to remain in post until the end of my term.
Some might say Richard Sharp's resignation was inevitable after he was accused of facilitating an £800,000 loan for then Prime Minister Boris Johnson.
Did Mr. Sharp help you with your loan?
It's a complicated accusation, but one that threatens the very foundation of the BBC's impartiality guidelines. Reports say that back in September 2020, Sharp was at dinner with Canadian businessman Sam Blyth, who happens to be a distant relative of Boris Johnson. Blyth supposedly expressed concern at the state of Johnson's financial affairs and offered a helping hand. And Richard Sharp knew just who to call, Cabinet Secretary Simon Case. Case and Blyth have a meeting, and less than 6 months later, Sharp is appointed chairman of the BBC. Fast forward to January of this year, and the Commissioner for Public Appointments kickstarts an inquiry. But Richard Sharp knows the current Prime Minister too, and some claim his relationship with Rishi Sunak has muddied the waters.
It's clear that he failed to act appropriately in this process, and it's right that he resigned. But he should have been sacked by the Prime Minister weeks ago, because this whole murky affair and his cosy relationship with the Prime Minister and Rishi Sunak himself has brought untold reputational damage to the BBC. And as we see time and time again with this Conservative government, after 13 years, they're more interested in saving the skin of their friends, whether it's Dominic Raab or Richard Sharp.
The Commissioner's report found the loan arrangement represented a potential perceived conflict of interest, a phrase that summarises more than one aspect of the scandal. Indeed, the Commissioner for Public Appointments who actually started the review was William Shawcross. But he had to stand aside after it emerged that he too had met Richard Sharp multiple times before. However, Rishi Sunak was quick to defend how this has been handled.
When concerns are raised, it's right that there is a proper process, an independent process, that we don't prejudge. We allow it to carry on, establish the facts of what happened, reach a conclusion. That's happened. Richard Sharp has resigned, but it's right that we do these things properly and professionally. I think most people will think that that's the right thing to do.
Richard Sharp will stay in post until a replacement is found. Who that replacement will be remains to be seen, but the links between Number 10 and the BBC are certainly under the microscope.